A Better Route Chapter 105. Teneki was surprisingly happy to have gotten the bugs for her opponents. She wanted to actually be the one to take down the tailed beast, so Kisame was welcome to have the Sanin's kid. While she knew that the Aburames thrived on being able to train their opponent's chakra with their bugs, she wasn't sure on how Fu would be fighting. Luckily for her, she had something that was just perfect for getting a good read on what Fu's fighting style was. Jumping to the ground as she did so, Teneki bit her thumb to draw some blood and made the proper hand seals, summoning jutsu. Fu wasn't sure what she had expected Teneki to have summoned, but she definitely expecting what was standing in front of her. It was giant porcupine with metal quills on its back. Clearly it was rather angry as it roared as soon as it was summoned. "Tenkei, why did you summon me?" Teneki rolled her eyes. "Calm down, Kinku, I just needed a hand with these guys. Think you can test them out for me?" Kinku's mood turned to happy almost instantly. "In that case, I'd be happy to help. Want me to set up a perimeter for your lighting?" Teneki smirked. "Oh Kinku, you know me all too well." Teneki jumped back into the trees and Fu and Shino waited to see what she had meant by, set up a perimeter. Kinku's quills began to grow and shoot from his body. Fu and Shino got behind some trees sliced through everything in the forest. Every tree had what looked like a massive metal sanbon embedded in it. Teneki gave a dark chuckle in tree tops as a strange humming started up. "I'm afraid you aren't going to be able to go very far in this fight. You're about to see how well Kinku and I work together." Fu noticed as some kind of blue light began to cover each of the metal quills. "I've got a really bad feeling about this." Electricity began to jump from pole to pole, making a cage of lightning all around them. Shino gulped a little. "Fu-chan, this is gonna make getting Teneki with my bugs a lot harder. There's no way I can get them into the trees without them getting zapped." Fu knew that meant they had to get Teneki down there. "Alright Ten. Do you think that your bugs could drain chakra through that metal on the porcupine?" Shino shook his head. "Not possible, it's just too thick." Fu was going to have to get creative to make this work. What if his mouth was open? Then could your bugs get him? Shino was a little taken back by the question. "I suppose that could work. How in the hell are you gonna keep his mouth open long enough for me to do that?" Fu got ready to move. "You just leave that one to me, sweetie." She activated some of her tailed beast chakra and got her exoskeleton going. Fu began to sprint at Kinku and Porcupine became excited. "I like this girl. Let's see what you've got, green head." If he'd heard what Fu and Shino said, he might not have tried charging her like this. Right when they were about to run into one another, Fu jumped up and grabbed two of the quills on his head. Using as much strength as she could muster, Fu yanked up the quills and forced his mouth open. Shino could see this was his chance and wasn't about to waste it. He raised up his hands and let loose as many of his bugs as he could. "Time for a meal that's going to eat you." The bugs flew into the porcupine's gaping maw and got right to work. Each of them bit them and sucked up as much chakra as they could. Screaming in pain, Kinku poofed away and the bugs flew back to Shino. Teneki yelled from up top, "That was pretty good. I didn't even get a chance to get a really good look at your fighting style. I'm gonna have to resort to more drastic measures." Fu really wasn't looking forward to more of what this chick could do. Teneki was loving how nervous they seemed. "My static reals can do some pretty special stuff when I've got all these metal quills around. You see, they allow me to control my electricity on a level you couldn't even imagine. With them around, I can pinpoint my lighting chakra down the nearest centimeter. Odds are you won't even see it coming." Fu was on full alert. She didn't want to get hit by one of Teneki's bolts of lightning. Shino heard a buzz and started to look around along with Fu. They saw flashes, but they were moving so fast neither of them could tell where it was gonna hit. All Shino saw was one of the blue flashes before he was hit in the back by Teneki's lighting. He fell to the ground and Fu ran over to him. "Shino-kun, are you okay?" Shino started to stand up. "Don't worry about me. Just keep your guard up." Fu heard more buzzing and started to look around for the next hit. She really wasn't sure what in the hell she was going to do to defend herself. There was still one thing left she could try though. As the buzzing sound got closer, Fu took in as much of her Jinchuriki chakra as she could and created the strongest exoskeleton she could. Something became visible out of the corner of her and braced herself for the incoming attack. The exoskeleton started to absorb the lightning, much to Teneki's surprise. Well, what do you know, that big old creep inside of you is actually starting to be of some use. Fu was still in some pain, but the seven tails had helped a lot. She was going to need its full cooperation if she was going to win this fight. It looked like it was finally time to try what been speaking with Naruto about at dinner the other day. She started by trying to contact it in her head. Hey, whatever your name is. I could really use your help right now. Maybe we could make some kind of. A voice in her head cut her off. Komii's my name, and it took fucking long enough to ask. Fu cringed a little. Okay, that's true. Chomei said suddenly, on your left. Fu turned left and used her armored arms to absorb the blast of another lightning strike. Thanks. How did you know that was coming? Chomei sighed in her head. Insects like myself rely on much more than just our sight to predict attacks, unlike you stupid humans. Now to the matter at hand, I believe you wanted to make a bargain with me similar to the one Naruto made with my brother. Fu was a little surprised she knew that. Yes I do. How did you figure that out? Chomei started to talk faster because Teneki was getting ready to attack again. I can see everything you see, and I was very impressed at Naruto's ability to get the most stubborn of my brothers and sisters to cooperate. However, I'm still a little peeved at you for not thinking of something like this yourself. Behind you. Fu turned around just in time to stop another of Teneki's attack. I'm sorry about that. I was always so busy worrying about how I felt that I never bothered to think you might be more than just a monster. If you'll let me, Chomei, I'd really like to work as your partner and your friend. Chomei couldn't describe how happy it made her to hear that. You're on. Open up your chakra system to me a little bit. You're about to get one hell of a power boost. Fu was glad to hear that. Oh, this is gonna be good. As soon as her chakra system was opened, Fu could feel every little part of body start to change. She didn't even have to try to activate her exoskeleton anymore, it was just there now. Wings grew from her back and she could feel the world around her. Every little thing that moved immediately caught her attention. It occurred to her that this might be similar to how the Hyugas felt when they had their Byakugan active. Teneki's lighting came at her once again, but this time she just raised one hand and deflected it. The lighting user was shocked. Well, looks like I'm really gonna have to go all out if I want to beat you. Time to show you my most powerful attack. Teneki jumped down from the trees and at Fu. She went to smack Fu but the Jinchuriki caught her hand before she could finish it. It scared Fu that she smiled even though the attack didn't land. You played right into my hands. Game over. Fu felt something start to course through her body. Nothing painful, just some kind of strange sensation. What the hell did you do to me? Teneki began to explain. In a few seconds you're gonna be in the center of giant bug zapper. I've given you a little taste of my chakra, just enough so that every static shock in this forest is gonna come charging right at you. Unlike me, your body won't be able to take it naturally. You're fucked, little girl. Fu could see the kind of situation she was in and yelled to her friend in her head, Chomei, have you got any ideas here? Chomei did have one thing, the exoskeleton. If you channel chakra through it properly, the electricity will actually conduct through it and not hit any of your insides. You can ground it out if you grab a tree or touch the dirt or something. Just start channeling your chakra and I'll guide you through the rest. Fu started to channel her chakra like she'd been told and Chomei started to give her an idea of where to send it. When the static started to focus on her, it started to flow through her exoskeleton and she slammed her hand onto the ground. Teneki watched in amazement as her static went harmlessly into the earth. That's my most powerful attack, you just deflected it like it was nothing. Fu put her hand to her mouth. Great dust storm. Teneki suddenly found herself being blown back by a raging cloud of dust. She was swept off her feet and hit a nearby tree. Fu rushed her and buried her fist into her gut, actually putting cracks in the tree behind her. Now it's over. Teneki spit out a little bit of blood. She wasn't dying but was in a hell of a lot of pain. It was clear she wasn't going anywhere. Look, we'll let you go, just let us leave. Please, let Kisame go at least. If you let him go I'll tell you anything you want to know about the Akatsuki. Fu noticed how much she cared about Kisame. Do you think he'd be willing to do something like that for you? Teneki gave a small smile. Please, he'd die for me if I needed him to. I've got him wrapped around my finger. Fu whispered at Shino, I don't think she's a threat right now. Let's go see if Kisame cares about her as much as she says he does. See you in the next one.